You awake, still dizzy from all the pain. You hear an unknown voice.
Hey, are you alright? Wake up.
Suddenly, a deep growl pierces your ears. A strange sensation rushes through your body, like a lightning bolt hitting your muscles. You get up in an instant, ready to fight. Looking around you, you see a person in armor, next to a beast with long teeth and a giant nose, sitting down on one of the logs you chopped down. But anything that was before is missing. Your name, your home, even words are difficult to remember.
Ah, I see. You try to remember things. Don't think too much about that. Everything is gone now. The earlier you accept it, the easier it is. Trust me.
The man stood up from the log, removing his water skin and handing it over.
You need to drink. It will be unpleasant, but you get used to it.
He pets the creature and moves past you,
You need to at the end.
grabbing a giant weapon leaning against a tree. Watching the beast, you take a swig from the water skin. The taste of iron fills your mouth. This liquid is not water, it tastes like blood. Your body reacts violently, the reflex to gag and vomit kicks in. But nothing comes out, only a weak cough.
Hey, it's better than my first time.
After drinking the blood, you feel refreshed. The pain is slowly passing, and the urge to drink more is crossing your mind.
Don't drink it all. The way back to town is long, and the gaze of Aesgaratha is fading. The beast will slowly awaken from his slumber.
The man puts some logs on the beast's back and checks that everything is holding on.
Let's get moving. Aesgaratha and Agrathno will be setting soon. I will explain everything on the road ahead. Don't be afraid. This is my Weraktona, the best help you can have hunting beasts.
On travel to the next town, the man explains what happened. That he was hunting a crow-ridden beast that managed to escape him and attack you on its path. He found you dying on the ground, the worm slowly taking over your body. So he had two options: to kill you on the spot, or with luck you would survive the plant sap that would wipe out your memories clean. It took 2 days, he said.
Who is guarding a dying corpse? Or a new hunter?
He had some questions, any memories about weapons, Tersa, flora and fauna, explaining basic things you had forgotten, also refreshing your knowledge about the crowbow. The two sons are slowly disappearing behind the mountaintops, and a place for camp was found. You took a closer look at the beast companion, a strange creature with big ears and a bigger nose. The body looked strong, but not too heavy. The giant mouth was filled with long teeth that could easily pierce skin. A thick coat of fur around the neck, perfectly suited for this cold area. After removing the sack and the tools from its back, it was clear that this beast was perfect to find prey and track it down for a long time. It seemed intelligent too, following commands and not complaining to carry so much on its back. The night went by peacefully. Continuing the barely visible path, you hit a frequently used road and spotted a village not far away. It is surrounded by big giant wooden walls and sharp pikes, like a castle made out of trees. Arriving in the village delter, the public recognized the hunter but looked surprised at you. Approaching the center of the village, an old man is waiting.
You have returned. But why is another hunter with you? We only requested one of your kind. So who is this? And why are they here?
Reports wonder. I was hunting the blockades that the villagers had reported. I tracked it down. Sadly, it escaped after I had wounded it heavily. I could not keep pace with it. The crowbar inside that beast forced it to run without exhaustion.
Crowboy, you said. And is the beast no more? Is Delter safe?
Yes, the beast and the crowbar is no more. But I could not prevent the attack on this villager. They killed the crowbar-ridden beast, but the explosive sack still formed and ruptured. They were dying on the ground. I had only two options: killing them or using the sap. As you can see, the sap worked.
I see. I see. What is your name, fresh hunter? Welcome to Delter. But why are they here and not in the village they came from? Explain that to me, Hoiga.
Trying to remember who you were. Just trying to negate the sap's effect on your body and what's inside you. Every time you remember things, the Krobo starts to remember too. Less one knows about themselves, the better it is for everyone around them.
After a long pause, Hoiga continued to speak.
Please, Sombre, I will train the fresh hunter to protect delter and hunt down beasts. I know the Snowy Highlands don't have many hunters, and I can't stay here forever. With the next rising of Icegropha, I will be gone.
The old man looked very serious while Hoiga was talking, but softened up into a smile.
After all what you did, Hoiga, how could I say no? From now on, this hunter can call Delter their home. This calls for a drink, my friend. Let's celebrate the killing of the beast.
Thank you. But first we need to meet someone.
Sombre nodded and went to the tavern. You entered a building with big doors, tools hanging on the wall, and in the middle was a creature sleeping. The moment you got closer, it rose up from its slumber.
This is your new companion. Weraktona is the hunter's best friend, and this will be yours. You both will train together, track down beasts, and bring back what you have hunted.
He turned around and with an open hand showed you 4 weapons hanging on the wall.
So what will be your weapon of choice?
So let us begin with the player, aka the hunter. Given the positive features of the Krobo, we unlocked superhuman strength and the option to wield weapons that are made to hunt down bigger beasts. The armor will be designed to fight creatures and not humans, kinda like a bear armor, made out of materials from beasts and or around the area. I hope I can pull this off because armor design is not my strongest skill. Currently I have 4 weapon types done that will represent the 4 damage types this game has. More weapons will be added in the future. But back to the player, aka the hunter. The hunter will be moving in a slow to medium speed. I'm aiming for like a Dark Souls 3 mixed in with old gen Monster Hunter. You need to manage stamina throughout the game, mostly in fights. So a stamina bar will be always present, and it's a nice gameplay mechanic in my opinion. With a stamina bar added, we can't forget about the health bar. So let's talk about healing and reviving. The hunter will be equipped with a Krokus, also known as a blood skin, containing blood that will be absorbed by the Krobo worms inside you. This will be our way to heal in fights. The Krobo will multiply faster with the extra blood in your system, closing wounds and mending bones. But what will happen if you take critical damage and drop to 0 hit points? Every hunter is trained to carry with them at least 1 flask with the sap that calms down the worms after they burrow outside your skin to protect you, forcing the beast you were hunting to retreat in fear of being infected, letting time advance. Hunting in a group will make it possible to revive fallen teammates faster, and not scaring off the beast they were hunting, also preventing the passage of time. The hunt will be abandoned if you have no sap left, to prevent the worm taking over your body if you fall again. What does the Weraktona do? It's your helper in hunts, finding and following tracks, but the Weraktona will not assist in fights. Not having a Krobo to heal them, a Weraktona will be killed very easily by the bigger beast that roam Tersa. If you remember the movie I Am Legend, the dog is more of a companion and a friend and not a weapon. The Weraktona will stay far away from fights, but it will carry your items as a big and mobile inventory. The hunter has his belt with bloodskins, tools and other things that can be used in the fight. The Weraktona serves more like a replenishing and special tool inventory. Materials you gathered from ore and fauna will be stored on its back. Same applies for the beast parts you cut off after a successful hunt. The inventory is split in 2. The main inventory is for tools and bloodskins, etc. The other inventory is dedicated for loot and materials only, but you can put loot into the tool inventory. Maybe throwing away a pickaxe or 2 small bloodskins to make room for some beast guts or bones. Everything will be sorted in a Tetris system, like Resident Evil 4, Path of Exile or the brilliant fishing game Dredged. I wanted the item management to be part of the game, giving options and also limiting how much you can carry into a hunt. If you have trouble hunting down a beast, take more heals with you. If you are skilled to only carry 2 bloodskins with you, you now have free space to take extra tools with you like traps or weapon oils, or just have more space in your inventory without throwing away tools. I wanted to give players that are not so good the option to make the hunt easy with more heals, and rewarding the good players with options for tools or taking more loot with them after a successful hunt. Monster Hunter kinda abandoned the inventory system completely, and now it's just a tedious thing to do after a 5-minute hunt. I will go more in depth how the hunt could play out in another video, after we covered more beast and weapons. It will be like a final showcase where all the building blocks just fall into place. Let's begin with the healing items. My first idea was to make them more into like syringes that you can ram into your sides or neck, whatever. The idea of the crowbar worm and using blood as healing was not made at that time. I liked some of them very much. Most of them were the brass knuckle ones, just selling the idea of punching yourself back to combat. I really tried to show a kind of impact healing design for the syringes. The long and big ones didn't feel that right, and at the end I never finished the designs, so I scrapped it all. So almost a year later I made the crowbar and I started to make, again, some different syringes, still with the impact idea in mind. I've gotten the idea of making like a ammo functioning reload manually healing shot, and the concept name of a blood spike was made, but I really forced this idea to be good. But at the end it wasn't, so I scrapped the ammo case and I just made it like an insta-healing shot that looked kinda whack. The design was not particularly good in my opinion. It was functional but not very... It was not very a cool design at the end, I would say. And same goes for the reviving sap, it just was a crowbar and some liquid and I didn't really think about it too much. And at the end I scrapped it all and I just made it like, oh yeah, you just drink the blood and feel good at the end. So, drinking blood is bad, a friend told me, which I totally agree, but the crowbar will be like everywhere instead of dying to make like a good unique special healing option in the game. I will just take the time and go the simple route, which is not bad because the world of Terrace is still in the late medieval times. So not having the technical know-how to make syringes and very small mechanical parts, it kind of fits the whole theme of like Terza is still advancing and going forward. I sketched some ideas for the bags, made also some small flasks for the sap. I like them all, but I wanted to keep them less fancy, make them cool later. Because we are still in the early game and we are fresh hunters, so no cool things at the beginning. I'm also currently working on icons and symbols to make them all look and feel the same, so I can put them into UI, menus and items. I'm aiming for like a northern style, but still fusing the crowbar arrowhead into the designs. And I tell you, God, that's quite difficult. Let us talk quickly about the inventory system. The hunter, aka you, the player, will always have a set inventory. So the hunter's belt, I called that for now, has 12 slots and can be your easy and quick access in combat. You will start with 15 item slots on your Weraktona companion. Those 15 slots are mainly for tools and supplies, but you can also put loot and materials you gathered in there. And then you have extra 15 slots for only materials and loot. These slots will increase later to 24 and again to 35, both for the tools and the loot. Let's talk about the Weraktona itself. It all began with me just learning about some dog anatomy to make some random creatures, and it slowly turned out into a companion concept. After 16 concepts, I picked 4 of them that would maybe fit a setting of a companion. 3 of them got some color concepts, and the most dog looking one stuck in my brain, and I wanted to add fur next. Even though I'm still not the biggest fan of painting fur or anything hair related. Adding a mane, giving the tail some hair too, I focused also on the ears and nose. I really locked in to have like big ears and even a bigger nose to track down prey easily. Quite enjoy making creature designs, so this is the thing that kinda revived the old project I scrapped half a year ago. Looking now back at these concepts, man, some of them look really wild. And as you can see, I really like the goblin looking one. The pointy and sharp shapes made him stick out for me the most. After picking the goblin looking one, I sketched down some items that I can put on his back, making him into like a mobile supply box. And at the end I was very excited to render this guy out. The rendering of the Weraktona took me only 6 hours while I was streaming, so that was quite fast. After I was done with the rendering, I still wanted to make the items appear on his back. So gathering the stock copyright-free photos and cutting them out, making the Weraktona open its mouth, having a top view, putting all that stuff on his back, and also making different head concepts took me again around like 8 hours plus. I'm quite happy how everything turned out so far. I would say it's one of my strongest pieces currently. But next will be the weapons, and they're done and ready to go, but I need to make the movements and the attacks, so it's a quite tricky thing and I'm struggling to nail down some attack movements. But it needs to be done, so... The images and videos are again from Pexels, sounds are from Pixabay, I totally forgot to mention it in my last video. And the beautiful background music is made by the brilliant Vindsvept. Thanks again for watching, I'm currently working on my coffee page. The next video will be about the weapons, and after that we will talk about the